capping our trees. Big oil jugs that we get from the local restaurant, and we use these to capture the sap because they're big and convenient. You sit on the ground, a hole drilled in each one. So each one holds 5 gallons. It'll take roughly 10 of these to get a gallon of syrup. Hopefully we'll get some sweeter syrup. It's kind of early. We have a bit of a warm snap right now. So we get some more sugar in our syrup, or in our sap this year. And hopefully it'll be more like a 40-to-1 ratio instead of a 50-to-1 ratio. How the Indians used to tap trees. Encourage it to run. Polyethylene tubing designed specifically for tapping trees. Probably can't have all trees. There's some people that make some other syrup. I know they make birch syrup, sugar content. So you take it, you know, this one 40 to 50 gallons of sap to make syrup, like a gallon of syrup. I think birch is like 80 gallons, so you'd need like 80 gallons.
Alright, so Dada's gonna be making syrup by the sap. He has his own little fire going over there. You can barely see it. It's nighttime, that's why it's dark. There's Dada. Bumping right over. Dada already has it roaring.
Hey, right now it's heating up a little bit. This is first run for the evaporator this year. Starting to get hot, a lot of the smoke's going away, so we're just about ready to put the pans on.
Yep.
And then
we're good to go.
We just gotta feed it. Once it's in there and boiling, we just have to keep adding syrup so it doesn't get too low and so it doesn't scald. And also we have to keep feeding the fire to keep the fire going, to keep it nice and hot. What we're gonna do first is add a little bit of water to one of the pans.
Oh, you mean sap?
There's sap. Well, it's mostly water. It's about 97% water, hopefully. Hopefully it's not less sugar than that. We add a little bit of sap right away. Got some ice crystals in there.
What?
Yeah, it's so cold that, can you see them kind of floating around right there?
Whoa, that's cool.
So I put some moisture in there, some sap in there right away, so it doesn't scald the pan, so it doesn't overheat. And then once they're on there, I can fill them up. Just enough to cover the bottom, so I can do it with one hand.
Haha, you could hear the ice crystals clattering the bottom when you pour it in. Ooh. It makes a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, it's because of the sugar in there. The sugar kind of makes it more viscous than just water. Viscous means the thickness of
Yeah.
the liquid. Yeah.
I've learned about what? What was that?
That's a big chunk of ice.
Whoa, pour it out!
They can't pour it out. It's stuck in there. It's too big.
No, not like that, on the ground.
But it won't.
Dang it!
It's too thick.
Like break it.
The heat starts burning right about here, but is drawn towards the back, and so the back pan gets extremely hot. The front pan just stays kind of warm, which works because I use it kind of as a staging pan for the sap. It'll get up to temperature here, that way when I dump it into the boiling one, it doesn't completely kill the boil. I'd do it again, probably make the holes a bit smaller so less of the sides are exposed. And I'd move the sap pans back so the heat was on those more than on the front. I might even make 3 slots so I can have one for warming to get prepared and then 2 that are more in the heat that would boil better. I made this last night. This is fire starter. It's charcoal made out of old punky soggy wood, but it's a good thing to carry around for camping to start fires. Same way you'd make char cloth. Put it in here and then set it in the hot coals and it would turn into charcoal, which makes starting a fire easier. So once it starts boiling, you'll see it just evaporates and it gets thicker and thicker. So the back pan, I warm it up in the front pan, it doesn't get quite as hot. Add it to the back pan as that one gets low, and I keep adding the fresh stuff here. That way I'm not putting cold into the already boiling sap. So that's why it's darker. Partly because it's thicker, it has a higher sugar content than the front pan right now. The Indians used to let it freeze, and then they'd have it collected in, they'd make birch bags, like birch bark bags. So they take bark from a birch tree and make bags out of it basically and hang it there and fill it. And then the ice off the top they throw away. Mostly what's frozen is the lower sugar content. The ice that comes off of there still has like a 2% sugar content, not 6% like the sap right out of the tree. I'm gonna finish off the syrup outside on the porch instead of inside the house. That way we don't have too much humidity inside the house. So I got this new little burner. I'm hoping that it's strong enough to boil that outside. We'll find out. So we are finishing off our maple syrup on the stove inside because it's a little more precise to finish it off. So maple sap turns to maple syrup at about 200, well, normally 219 degrees, 7 degrees above boiling. But our elevation here is around 1,100 feet or so, so we are down, our boiling points are around 210 degrees. So I'm using my candy thermometer, and I'm looking for about 217 degrees to know when it's actually syrup. So now I'm just waiting for that. We have the fan going. Right now it's not going, so I can talk to the video camera, but it's a lot of humidity for inside the house, so most of it we boil off outside and just finish it inside, and even this is a little bit too much for inside. About 20 to 25 gallons of sap. We're now down to that much syrup. Might be a few quarts of syrup. The pieces you see floating in there are just from the boiling pans out on the evaporator. Just basically scalded syrup on the sides. We'll filter that out though. Water, you can put as much heat as you want below. It won't get above 212 degrees.
Why?
Oil will turn into a chemical reaction. So the water itself actually loses heat through the oil. 212 degrees, it starts losing heat and it won't get above it.
Maybe put lid on it? See?
You can put it in a pressure cooker until you get higher, so you can put it under more pressure. A couple different things determine the darkness. How long it boils. The run too is a different time of year. You know, later runs they're darker, the earlier runs typically lighter. And part of that is because the earlier runs typically have a higher sugar content, so they have to cook less.
We're having ice cream on tonight, and we're having the syrup on top. Thank you.